Guys, so today I am here to do my September book haul. It's been a while since I've posted a video. I think the last video I posted was my July book haul, and I was just so busy that I didn't post an August book haul, and I think I only bought like 1 or 2 books in August, so there really wasn't a need for a book haul. So the books I bought in August, I'm gonna put in this book haul. There might be maybe 2 books in here that I might have hauled already, so in my July, so if I did, forgive me, because I don't know, because it's been a while. So let's just get into it, since we're not here forever. I did buy a lot of books in September, but I'm trying to cut back in October and not buy as many. I've only bought 2 so far. No, like 4, but I'll tell you why in a second. My birthday is in a couple months, so I'm trying to cut back and not buy as many books and ask for a lot of books for my birthday. So, yeah. The first book that I bought is Girl Logic by Eliza I'm going to butcher your name, and I am so sorry. I'm pretty sure it's by Eliza Schellinger. She is a comedian, and yeah, she's just a comedian. She was popular at one point, and they did have this actually on Book Outlet, and I was going to buy it on Book Outlet, but I was at the bookstore near my house, like I normally am, and it was $3. So if a hardcover is $3, I'm buying it. The next one I got is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. This came out last year, and it's about a girl who is in flight school. It's about a girl who ends up being in flight school, and she has to it's just about a girl who's attending flight school, and yeah. So it could be the second one is coming out in November. So I have not read this yet. I might read it maybe next month or the month before, because Thanksgiving and Christmas are coming. So I might want a couple long books to read during the holiday season. A lot of people have talked about this book on BookTube. Reagan over on Peruse Project read this actually last Christmas, and she absolutely loved it. Someone else read it. I cannot think of who off the top of my head. All I know is Reagan read it, and she loved it. I cannot think of who else read it, but somebody else that I watch on BookTube read it, and they liked it. But I'm looking forward to it. It is pretty long. It's 510 pages, and it's broken up into, I'm assuming, like 5 parts. So it's going to take me a while to read, so I can read books in between. Like, what I do now is, whenever I read a book and there's more than one, like, part, like if there are 3 parts of it, I read one part. I read 2 books at once now, so, yeah. So when there's a book with more than one part in it, like if there are 3 parts, 4 parts, I read one part, and then once I'm finished with that, I start another book, and I just go back and forth between the book. Like, after I read one part of the book, after I read part 2, I go back and read another 100 pages of the other book I'm reading. After I'm done with part 3, I go back to the other book and I read 100 pages of that one, and etc., etc., etc. So I'm interested to read this. It sounds like... It does not sound like a book I would normally read, but I am intrigued to read this, and I'm going to ask for the second one for Christmas. But I'm intrigued to read it because of all the hype around it. it's had so much hype since it came out, and it came out last, I think October or November. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head, but yeah. So I'm just really excited to read this book, and I will get to it soon. The next book is Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. I have heard this book talked about before, and I was intrigued to get it because I saw it on Book Outlet. And when I read the synopsis to it, I was so intrigued. When I read the synopsis for it on Book Outlet, I was so intrigued. It's a thriller. It's a thriller, but I cannot think of what it's about off the top of my head. And I hate that. I know it's a thriller. And that's kind of all I remember about it. So, yeah, I'm excited to read this one as well. This next one is one that's been going around BookTube for quite some time. And this one, I read, the next one is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Okay, so I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by this author, and I absolutely loved it. I think I gave it like 5 out of 5 stars. So I might have hauled this in my July book haul, so if I did, forgive me. But it's about a girl in a band, and they named themselves Daisy Jones and the Six. And this, since it came out, it's been getting so much hype. And I am so excited to read it. I started subscribing to the subscription book box, Book of the Month, because Reagan over on Prue's Project, she subscribes to it, and she would not stop talking about Book of the Month. So I tried it out. Shockingly, I like it more than I thought I would. But when I got my first box, I got one of the July books in my July book box. But what they're able to do is you can add 2 books. You pick every month they have 4 books that you pick from, and you pick that one as your book of the month. And then they have this option where you can add 2 books onto the order. So I didn't know that at the time, so I just picked up Daisy Jones and the Six. I want to read it. My mom wants to read it. It's pretty much the most popular book that's out right now, and I'm just extremely excited to read it. The next one is that's all dirty. I need to fix that. The next one is The Miseducation of Henry Caine by Charles Brooks. This one I am extremely excited about because this one is just like all about I watched the TV show Younger, so every now and then they come out with books from the TV show, like books that are fictionalized. They're from the TV show. They're starting to turn into books. So this is the second one. The first one was called Marriage Vacation. This is the second one. It's by Peter. The person who plays Charles Brooks, his name is Peter Herman, and his name is Peter Herman. So his character wrote a book on the show. So they turned it into a real book. So instead of it's funny because he didn't write it himself. His character didn't necessarily. So he wrote a book himself. He wrote a children's book. Peter Herman actually wrote a children's book. So I'm interested to see the portrayal they make of this. And this is the book I bought in August, and I just didn't haul it because I didn't need to. But I'm excited to read this one. And it is pretty short, so I can read it within like 1 to 2 sittings. Okay, the next one is If Only I Could Tell You by Hannah Beckerman. I was skeptical to read this because when I was picking my book for the book of the month, I was going back and forth between whether or not to get this, because I like the premise of this book, but it was kind of, how do I put this? It's kind of like skeptical, sort of. So I didn't know if I'd actually like it, but I eventually picked it up and gave it a try. It's about a girl it's about these 2 girls and their sisters. And okay, it's Audrey's dreams as a mother had been for her daughters, Jess and Lily, to be as close as only sisters can be, but now as adults they no longer speak to each other, and Audrey's 2 teenage daughters have never met. Audrey just can't help feeling like she's been dealt more than her fair share as she watched her family come undone over the years, and as she has no idea how to fix her family, as she wonders if they will ever be whole again. If only Audrey had known 3 decades ago that a secret could have the power to split her family in 2, and yet also keep them linked. And when hostiles threatened to spiral out of control, a devastating choice that was made so many years ago was about to be revealed, testing this family once and for all. Once the truth is revealed, it will be enough to put her family back together. Once the truth is revealed, it will be enough to put her family back together again, or will it break them apart forever? So the synopsis from this made me so intrigued by it because I come from a big family myself. So that really intrigued me in the synopsis for this, and that's one of the reasons why I picked it up from Book of the Month. Okay, getting down to the wire. We don't have that many left. Next one is How to Walk Away by Catherine Center. She wrote... I'm interested in starting to read her books because she is becoming really popular. This is about... Okay, I cannot really explain this, so I'm just going to read the cover to you so you understand. I think in this book, she's about to start a new job. It's about a girl named Margaret Jacobson who's about to start a new job, and she's engaged, and then everything starts crumbling down, and I think her fiance sleeps with her sister, or something like that. And then I think she falls in love with the physical therapist at the hospital she works at. And her and her fiance break up. I'm pretty sure it's something along those lines. I could be completely wrong, but I think that's what this is about. And I'm interested to read her books because I hear they're really some are really fast-paced, some are really slow-paced, some are kind of hard to get through. So I just like them because of the covers. This wasn't a cover buy because I knew what it was about, and the other book I have of hers, I also know what it's about. But it was also a cover by it's in of itself too, because I like her books and I'm starting to hear great things about her books. Some people like them, some people hate them, so I wanted to get them and see for myself. The next book is Saving Zoe by Alison Noel. This got turned into a movie. This is the movie cover. I like this. This is with Alyssa Milano and Laura Morano and Vanessa Morano. They're sisters in real life. But it stars the two of them, and it's about her sister. Yeah, her sister Zoe. Here, Vanessa. Because this is Laura and this is Vanessa. Vanessa goes missing, and her sister, she plays Zoe, and she goes missing, and she turns out to get, everybody thinks she went missing. It turns out she gets murdered by a guy she knew in her high school. So her sister gets to the bottom of it, and it's been a year since her sister got murdered. So her sister gets to the bottom of who murdered her, why did they murder her, and what the story about it was. So I'm really excited to read this. I saw the synopsis for it. She plays Zoe. Vanessa plays Zoe, and her 15-year-old sister plays Echo. Yeah. So, and then her sister's boyfriend shows up with her sister's journal, with Zoe's journal, and then that's how she also finds out that she gets murdered. So she also reads her journal and figures out who murdered her, why they murder her, and all that stuff. So I wanted to pick up the book first because I wanted to read the book and then watch the movie. So I'll probably read this in like the next month or two because I want to watch the movie like now. But I'm trying to get in the habit of reading the books and then watching the movies that they're based on, because they could be completely different. And it's short, so I can probably get through it quickly. The next one is another Catherine Center book. It's called Things You Save in a Fire. This is about a girl named Cassie Hanwell, and she was born to handle emergencies, and then she gets a job as a firefighter, and then she gets transferred from and then her mother makes her give up her whole life and move to Boston. So then she gets transferred to the Boston firehouse out there. And it's kind of just like her figuring out her life now in Boston and working at the Boston firehouse out there. And it's just really interesting. And like I said, these covers are so pretty. So I'm really interested in reading her books, and I feel like they're going to be really fun. The next one I bought is a series. I bought all four of them. The series I bought is Killer Instinct by Jennifer Lynn Barr. The series I got is the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. The first book is called Killer Instinct. The first one is called The Naturals. The second one is called Killer Instinct. I'm probably having this in the wrong order, but then then the next one it's The Naturals, Killer Instinct, All In, and Bad Blood. I probably have this in the wrong order. Somebody on BookTube raved about this series. I cannot think of who did, but somebody on BookTube raved about the series and loved the series. And I was browsing Amazon the other day, and I saw that it was on there for super cheap. So when I saw that it was on there for super cheap, I went ahead and I bought all of the books. So yeah, that was my very long September book haul. Let me know down below some books you in the comments, what books you bought in September, as I would love to know. I don't think my book haul for October will be this long, because I'm trying not to, like I said, I'm trying not to buy so many books. I'm getting a lot of books from the library now, because like I said, my birthday is in a couple months, so I'm waiting and having people buy me a lot of books for my birthday, and then I'll have probably a humongous book haul then. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all. And like I said, let me know down in the comments some books you got in September, and let me know what you guys are currently reading. I would love to know. And I will see you all soon in my next video. Bye!